Hello, welcome to Creative You Podcast. I'm Catherine Kirby. I'll be your host. And today there's exciting things. We are going to unbox a Knitting Fever trunk show. And that is always so exciting to see beautiful things that are all ready to go and you can just slip them on. So this is one of the incredible things in this box. Hey, Knitting Fever, it fits me. These are all knitted. I apologize to crocheters, but this is done with Savannah, which is a silk linen yarn. And I think the third color is quite a surprise here. But I don't know when I make one. I'm definitely going to make one because, you know, when you hear people say, when I tried this on, I never wanted to take it off. Well, that's how these sweaters feel. I like it, but I don't like the way it poofs out here, but I like that. So I'll have to think about it. But I usually don't wear burnt orange, and it's really nice. It's really nice. This yarn feels fabulous against your skin. So let's pull the things out of the box and we'll have a party, a yarn party. I will be the yarn maiden and and I will supply your every wish, my lord and madame. Let's see here. Oh, wouldn't you just love to get a box like this in the mail and be able to keep everything? Now that would be a dream come true. You know, there is a movie called The Yarn Princess, and it's about a woman who falls down on hard times. She's painted as having a low IQ, but she's a lovely person and a good mother, and it's worth watching. So, lots of beautiful fall colors here. And I may not have grabbed a skein of Savannah when I left the shop because I kind of knew what was in the box. But we'll start with this, Queensland, Perth. There is a really good movie if you ever want to feel like you're traveling through Australia. It is Paul Hogan of Crocodile Dundee fame way back, plays an older man and his son, and they're going on a trip to the northernmost tip of Australia, and they go through all these towns that the Queensland yarns represent, and I got excited about that, but it's a great comedy. It's a good, clean comedy. So this is Perth. A lot of people make socks with it. This is Kings Canyon colorway, which this really would make great socks. But what they sent me, was the cow, which is really pretty. And you get even though it's a bright color, it's two colors twisted together. So you get kind of muted effects, which is really pretty. And that would be just perfect on a fall day, or if you work in an office where it's cool, or you want to take the dog for a walk. My older dog has woken up to his leash. And if I said that the last time, it's a lot more exaggerated now. Because yesterday we took 4 walks, even one kind of late at night, and it was quite almost cold. We're in Pennsylvania, but it was a beautiful full moon out and lots of stars. So this is not this. No, it is not. I'm still on my moonlit walk. So if you do have a dog, you see a lot of beautiful skies that you wouldn't otherwise see because you'd be tucked inside your house. I thought so. Aurelia cow. Not much to the directions. And the yarn sells for about $14, so it's a $14 cowl. And if you ever want to order from me, I'm trying to get a website built. If you Google Creative You, Google takes you to a shop 3,000 miles away in sunny California, or maybe it's not so sunny. So I would love to talk to you if you call, or you can email me and I will include that. This is the sweater that I have on. That is jasmine pullover. And even though this is in pieces, I mean, great fit, and nice color. So I think it would be worth it. And things that you piece, you make them pretty quickly. I'm surprised. Okay, now the colorful cow that hey, there's Hartley. So Hartley, in addition to learning that he loves his leash, loves walks, and he used to only make it so far. Now we're going around, and sometimes the second time. If you have a dog that has arthritis, there are some great supplements out. He's on, I think it's DPG. I'll look it up. But isn't this lovely? This is Anise cow, I think, and it has buttons. Here we go. And the colors are very, very pretty. And but you would have to work in or knit in your colors, because this is not self-striping. This is working in a bunch of colors. So I might do this, but with a self-striping yarn, but llama lace is really soft. And I have another llama lace piece. So this is a #1 fingering weight yarn. And there we go. And you know, I've said this before, but when I hold this up and look at it, I really only see the beautiful effect when I hold it up in front of the camera. So maybe I should have my customers do that, or hold it up right, because now I can really see the pattern. Whereas if I just do that, I don't really see it. This is very soft. And that pattern, ladies and gent of the kingdom, of which I am your yarn maiden, is this one. Marvin wrap. And that's a beautiful color. This is a skein of llama lace. They have a lot of natural browns, tans, but they also have some beautiful greens and blues. So I was looking at shoes with some of my grand boys, and it's interesting because kids aren't into comfort, or, oh, you get like, oh, a raincoat and you get extra pot. No, they're just into colors and how it looks. As you get older, you learn all about comfort and everything. So my niece got married last week. It was in a country setting. The reception was in a barn. Hey, Hartley, that no matter how peeling the paint was, it all led to the aesthetics. And inside it was a black ceiling, and they had lights on. It's just beautiful. And she was beautiful. And it was, there was a pond, and it was just a beautiful day, and leaves were just trickling down. But the reason why I brought that up is because comfort. I would see the girls in the wedding party, and I'd say, how's it going? Yeah. Are your shoes comfortable? Everybody said, no, my feet are killing me. So I got on websites and looked for comfortable shoes, 5 stars. These shoes are so comfortable. And I think that's what you need. Even my grandson said, look, Grandma, that one has a 5-star rating. So comfortableness and durability. So this is Perth. And again, it is done in pieces, but oh my, this is just so pretty that I just had to try it on, and it is lovely. It's lovely. There we go. So I think I've said before that when you walk a boy dog, which I haven't had a boy dog in many, many years, it's a lot different than walking a girl dog, which just walks along and sniffs some things. But a boy dog, every telephone pole, every fire hydrant. And so instead of getting frustrated about that, like my husband does, I just take that time to like look at the sky or daydream or write little songs in my mind or praise, think about things I want to make or knit. And so I just use that time too. While he's having his sniff party, I'm having a party of the mind. Okay. Too bad I can't do a quick change. There was an act on America's Got Talent one time, and this woman, this young woman, changed into so many outfits at super fast speed. It was all like an illusion. You didn't see her take it, but it was incredible. But unfortunately, I don't have those powers. So this is dungaree yarn, which is a recycled from jeans. And it has kind of like a rustic look. And it feels, it's not your softest cotton. And I confess that I haven't made anything out of it yet. I was thinking about a pocketbook because, hey, if it's a little rough, you don't mind. But I'm going to change my mind about that really quickly. Here is a scarf, or it could be a cowl. And of course there's many, many different ways now to wear scarves that really, and then when you wear a pin, that just, so this is one of the dungaree patterns. If I show you the right side, it might be better here. But before I started the podcast, I tried this sweater on. This is done in glacier color, but it's inside out. And let me tell you what, I didn't want to take it off like this one. I didn't want to take this sweater off. It feels so nice and it looks good. So, you know, you can't judge a pattern just by looking at, oh, Hartley, I wish everybody could see you, how pretty you are. When I put him on supplements, all that white pappy look kind of went away, and all these beautiful reddish colors came in. And when that salesman came to our house and it turned out to be life insurance, he said, what a beautiful brindle dog. And boy, my heart just soared. So I mean, it's nice, but you don't really say, wow, I have to make that, until you try it on, and then you want 3 or 4. So yeah, it's a winner in my book. And here's my dog knocking over my yarn because I haven't taken him out for a walk yet. So dungaree, now they have brought out dungaree tweed, which dungaree tweed is a lightweight, and I think it's a number 1. And I see that these long vests are coming back in, and this isn't going to look so great with this sweater, but I look like I've been lifting weights, but it is wonderful. Just that little extra bit of warmth on these cool fall days. We had a heavy frost last week. The fields were white. So I also really like this. I am going to have to become a speed knitter. I also like the pattern. I think would be nice for a lightweight baby blanket. So lots of ideas. Oh, so many ideas. I need to be the queen, the yarn queen, and then I would have my maidens knitting for me all day long. Hey, no kidding. I went into a yarn shop one time in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and there was a older lady sitting at a long table. The shop was elegant. My dog is moaning because we haven't taken our walk. I used to think he was in pain, but oh, Hartley, we'll go soon. And he hasn't yet learned what walk means, but he gets excited when he sees the leash. And this older woman was like her sit-in knitter. She would sit there all day and knit. She wasn't an employee. She just did it out of the love of her heart and her passion for knitting. And I've been praying, Lord, please send me someone like that to my shop. All right. So what preachers say is you tell them and then you tell them what you told them. So in review, the dungaree top, the dungaree top called Harley shirt, knitted in a DK cotton. The dungaree tweed Jocelyn long vest. The llama lace marin wrap. The llama lace anise cowl. And I haven't painted my nails in years. And of course, to go to the wedding, I painted my nails. The Rosa long sleeve sweater by Perth. The jasmine pullover with Savannah yarn. And if this doesn't get you in the fall mood, I'm starting to pass houses now that are decorated for fall with colorful leaves and pumpkins. And so a friend and I, we were playing the Name That Yarn game, and I didn't have the yarns with me, but I had a photo. Let me see if I can find it, or did I eliminate it? Aha, here we go. So this is an online yarn called Arona. It's a cotton, but it's flat. And so people stay away from it because they don't understand how neat it is. And we were playing Name This Yarn. So this one that's kind of goldish, and see, that's why I don't wear fingernail polish because it chips. My little grandson, who was 5, but now he's 6, said, what about scarecrow? And we love that. I was going to do corn maze, but M-A-I-Z-E, a little play on words. And that one, I was going to do pumpkin on the vine, but Margaret Ann came up with, I think, autumn leaves, which is true because the oranges, and then the one on the bottom, the green, I could not come up with anything for fall. And she said, what about like autumn apples or green apples? So what about all of you? Do you have any suggestions? We were thinking Harvest Moon. This one, the pinks and the blacks, is a tough one. Princess Palace, Midnight Rose, Opal Frost, and the purple orange one is a tough one. So hey, write your suggestions down and welcome new viewers. I'm thrilled to have you. But yeah, it is so fun. And at first, you're really slow with it. You can't come up with anything. And then bingo, I'm walking the dog and I'm thinking of all these names, and it's just like twirling tutu for a little girl, and you're just coming up, shall we dance? It is fun. You think at first, oh, this is too hard, I can't do this, and then your mind just, gotta pet my dog here, your mind just takes off. Rainbow Beach, it's another Queensland yarn, is a sport weight yarn. It's kind of like Painted Sky and Painted Desert in that it's two colors twined together, and they do have solids, which are like semitonals. And so wait until I show you this because I love it. Look at this. And you know what? I'm not sure that there has to be a right side and a wrong side. Look at that. So, yeah, you can see how that kind of bunches up. But anyway, I'm distracted. When I got it out of the box earlier, my husband said, oh, that's so nice. And then here you aren't really seeing all the beautiful blues. I don't know why blue doesn't film very well, but my husband said, that's really long. And it is down to my, I guess, calf. But I said to my husband, oh, there's so many ways that you can wear decorative scarves. And there's so many ways you can twist them. And let's see, backwards and over. And just like with hairstyles, the way they take your hair and then they loop it through, there's so many things you can do. Oh, now my little one wants in. There's just so many things. So this is called K-Scarf. So many different color combinations that you could do this in. This is done with color number Starfish and Castaway. And yes, you cast on 378 stitches on a needle size US 5. So again, the way to do that, people of the kingdom, would be to use both ends or both colors or whatever. Do your slip stitch. You have both strands from the two yarns, and then go in and do the long tail and then snip off the one. I mean, you don't want to try to measure out how much yarn is it going to take. And if you've forgotten how to do that, I can show you. But that is such a fabulous knitting tip. Oh, I just saw the sad notice that said these must be mailed back by October 10th, and here it is already the 1st, so only 8 more days really, because the 10th they have to be put in the box to enjoy these. So another yarn by Queensland is, hey, viewers, you have to pat me on the back because I used to say, sew this and sew that and sew this and sew that. And then I noticed my grandchildren started to say, and so I have been making a concentrated effort not to say S-O, and it's not that type of S-O. But what will happen is I'll probably pick up a similar word and switch to that. See there, I almost said it. United. United is a cotton lamb's wool mix, and these are Australian yarns, naturally. And it is, you get 251 yards for about $7. 55% lamb's wool, 45% cotton. It is a number 2 weight, and you can also get the big skeins like this that give you 1,531 yards. But for today's pattern, we are thinking about this size. And there are two sweaters, sizes, the small and then the large. So this one, they showed you how it looks when you do two different colors. And then this one, how one color would look. And they're both very nice. They're nice and cozy. So the second thing I'm trying to improve is I have a way of looking straight into the iPad. But then when you see my podcast, it looks like I'm talking somebody off on the side. So I'm trying to look at the little camera, and I hope I'm doing better. Well, wasn't that super fun, right? And tell me what your favorite was. You can order anything from me you like. I'm running free pattern with purchase of the yarn. And I will just show you something I've been working on. So this is an anniversary gift for my husband. And you know, whenever I'm knitting, he's so sweet. He'll say, "Oh, what are you working on now? Let me see." And this, he hasn't said anything. The colors are browns and gray, but in a certain light, that gray can look bluish. And I think if worn with jeans, it would definitely look bluish. You have kind of this marled grayish color, marled brown. I have not gotten tired of knitting with this yarn. It's a cotton blend and it feels wonderful. I'll pick out some nice buttons for him. And yeah, my husband isn't really one to plan special things for special days. And you know what, ladies out there in the viewing audience, I've learned if that's the case, then you have to do it. You have to be the one, instead of sitting back or boo-hoo in the bed, you have to be the one that does it. If he's not going to plan something special, you have to do it. And I probably told you this story of years ago on Valentine's Day. Nothing special happened. And again, I could have done it. Let me grab a drink here. And we were a fairly new couple. And that evening, my husband's daughter called. And this is back in the days when, checking to see if I'm late for the yarn shop. And this is back when you weren't using cell phones, you were calling landlines. And when my husband answered, Erin said, "Oh, Dad, I didn't think you'd be home. I was just going to leave a message." What happened? Well, through eavesdropping, I learned that he told his daughter that he was taking me out to a dinner theater. And here we were at home. Shame on you, Mr. Paul, telling stories. It sounded good. So yeah, I'm the one that has to get the tickets or whatever. So all the really cute baby sweaters that I showed, this is the one of the two that are done for a girl. The only difference is the color. So this is, I don't know if you can see that. This is, if I put it behind something white, which I don't have, but this is like a fake cable twist where you knit two together, pull it through, don't take your stitches off, and then go through the first stitch, knit, and take it off. You get a little twist. So I'm knitting along and knitting along. This is the same yarn, Elizabeth Louisa Harding Marmo. And meanwhile, go to knittingfever.com and check out their new patterns in the Louisa Harding line. Very, very pretty. And the whole time I'm knitting, I am loving these colors for a little girl, the reds, the purples, loving it. And suddenly the light bulb goes off and I say, wait a minute, wait a minute, what's going on here? Tell me it's not so, Joe. I read a book that had this comic line all through it, a fiction book, where the main character owned a big store with lots of booths where people had consignment booths. And every time something would go wrong, he'd say, tell me it's not so, Joe. Well, you look at it, there's nothing wrong, right or wrong, because my color is going to flip down and you won't see all the cables. So I must have missed a row, which threw it off. But you know how when negative knitting occurs, instead of crying, your creative genius kicks in and you say, well, you don't say SO, you say, or, well, wait a minute here. What if I reversed it or made it a reversible jacket, and my reverse stockinette stitch would be, and then I would have my, and then I would have my cable. So more later, we'll get that later. That's a whole nother show, but the colors are lovely. And if you haven't gotten a sweater kit from me, I encourage you to do so. A lot of people got sweater kits, and I can't wait to see, here, all the amazing, well, that wasn't good. I was going to show you this. When I was raising my 4 children, we lived beside a furniture factory on the one side of the street and a furniture outlet on the other side. And I mean, this wasn't the Taj Mahal of streets. We lived back a lower class street, you would call it. But because this furniture was prestigious and people said, oh, did you know the Schatz's furniture, I know we haven't had our walk, is in the White House, a lot of fancy cars would pull up in front of the store. And this is many years ago. Wow, this was 35, 30, 40 years ago. And the kids would say, Mom, look, it's a Porsche. Mom, look, it's a Lexus. Mom, look. And I'd say, it's just a piece of metal. Well, since then, I've learned a lot more, not a lot, a little, but in my case, a little was a lot more about fancy cars and about how they can be investments and keep their value. But a friend, and I was going to show you this in its pristine shape, but the whole time I was doing the podcast, it fell on the floor and I was stepping on it. A friend invited my husband to a very prestigious car showroom, and my husband came home. He was so wound up, and he was saying, and I mean, just one showroom was like the size of this downstairs, and they had 3 floors, and he's just going and going and going. And he showed me pictures the whole time that you're there, like they were there 4 hours or more. They're bringing you food, shrimp that big, so pieces of steak. He's showing me all of this, and it's like, wow. And they gave him a Rolls-Royce mask. And it's very sleek and smooth. And wow, look at that. So that was what I was going to show you. So The only other thing I have to say is I will be doing a show. I've been hitting Thursdays with the things I've been doing, some crocheting. Crocheters hang in there with me. I did just teach a lovely young woman how to knit. She's an avid crocheter, and I taught her to knit really 1 hour lesson, and she picked it up like snap. But if you're looking for a good movie to watch, you can go to YouTube, and there's a wonderful movie called Good Night, Mr. Tom. I might have mentioned that the last show, but it's worth mentioning it again because you will just love it. And then I got to watch Ugly Benny with my grandchildren about a pet shop. You'll love that too. So anyway, have a great creative day. Shine, baby, shine. And I will see you the next time. Signing out, the Yarn Maiden.